Hey guys, this is Locke. Today I'm going to be doing the review on Titus's vision card. I have no idea how to pronounce that name, so I'm just going to say Titus's vision card. First of all, I can just read out the abilities. Like it provides up to 35 slash attack, and then it provides 13 critical hit and 25% HP all to water allies as a party ability. Gives 30% attack, 15%, not 15%, but 15 defense piercing, and 10 accuracy. Actually, that is 15 defense piercing. Defense piercing is always 8%. So if the opponent has 100 defense, that would go down to like 85. But if the opponent only had, say, like 15 defense, that would just go down by 15% of 15. So it would not be like minus 15. So anyway, at first glance, I think a lot of people think this card is kind of bad. I disagree with that. I think this card is actually very useful if you are planning to use Titus, because there are a lot of compositions that I can see with this card. Let me show you some examples. So I'm going to use this. So I will have Titus on the slot, and I will have his vision card. I will have Glaciella on the second slot, and I will have this one, dashing over a snowy field, Ildira on slot 3 with her own vision card. So for example, in this setup, now the reason a lot of people say this card is bad is because it gives water unit slash attack by up to 35, and there aren't too many water slash attack, units within water, right? At least UR units. So people feel that the utility of the card is limited, and okay, fair. That's true, but I think if you set your composition up correctly, I think this card can be quite useful. So let's ignore that card for a second and look at this one. So this card, read the red ability. It gives critical damage up by 25. Now, that is as long as you get a critical hit, that's similar to having this card, which increases, Man Eater upon physical attack. But instead of, a physical attack, that will be all attacks, and it won't just be Man Eater. It will be like whatever, like even if you attack like PvE enemies, that goes up by 25. Like the skill multiplier goes up by 25 because it's a critical damage increase. So, like this card basically increases the damage of all water allies like another Titan. But to do that, you need to have high crit. And where do you get crit from? Well, you get it from this card, right? Like this card increases crit across all your water units by 13. And this card increases all the dexterity of all your water units by 35%. Dexterity in turn increases crit as well. So you have two cards that are boosting crit, and you have a third card that's boosting critical damage. That is a pretty good setup, and the effects on the cards are not just limited to these. Like they have pretty good effects, right? Like for example, this one reduces all area damage by 20%. This one increases pierce attack by an additional 35. So for example, Vishla will not just be getting plus 25 on her water attacks, on her water pierce attacks. She will be getting plus 60 on her water pierce attacks as long as they crit. So this is one composition that I can think of where this card Titus's VC makes sense in a water team. Also, don't forget about Ildira's Spellblade abilities. These like Water Blade and Water Blade, and also Taunting Spell. All these abilities are slash attack. These are water slash attack spells, abilities. So these will all benefit from Titus's VC. I've been using Ildira and Titus and Glaciella actually in the trials, and Ildira's Water Blade hits for a lot of damage. Now you typically won't be using it in PvP scenarios because Ildira typically doesn't get up front to do damage, but like there are at least 2 times in a fight or something she will in like 5 fights, 2 of those fights she will use those abilities because enemies still approach her, and she will use whatever ability that uses the most damage, and a lot of times it's been Water Blade because you get that extra modifier from Titus's VC. But suppose you're not playing this team. Suppose you want to play you don't want to play a water team. You want to play like a general team with like other units. I still think this card is pretty good for Titus. So, for example, this is my team that I've been using in the class match right now. And as you can see, like I want my Titus to be my carry of the team. So I would like to stick one card on him and have Titus's damage output taken care of by that one card. And so with the other cards, I can focus on other things like defensive abilities or agility or something. So in this case, like Titus is my core of my team. If Titus is gone, I have a low chance of winning. I have two other quickeners, and so on the quickeners, I can put other cards that I don't need as like the other cards. Sure, this card increases attack by 35%, but I mean, like it's not really as necessary. This card is not maxed. If it was maxed, my output would be even better. And just to give you an example, like earlier today, I was fighting a team where there was a Yuna, and the Yuna had a Bahamut's card that was fully maxed out, and also had a Solidus card that was also fully maxed out. So she had like a lot of HP, and she had 20%, at least 20% slash resist. And Titus was able to one shot her. He hit her for 6.6k crit damage, using his level 25 skill. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm just gonna say it. This one. So he, it lowers defense, and then just one shot her for 6.6k damage or 6.5k or something. And that is with this card. That's not even max. It's only 3-star. So at 4-star, you get a huge boost from 3-star to 4-star. Even when you level up from 98 to 99, you get a huge boost for the vision card abilities. So this card is going to be even better. His damage is going to be even better. But even if I'm not using like him as a hyper carry in a quickener team, if I put other units around him, like for example, I'll probably have to build this out because I don't have it. But say I have Titus here, and then I have say you and even Yuna, for example. So I will have Titus's own VC for him, so I can make sure that he does a lot of damage. I can put something like this card, Snow White Guard, and again Solidus here, which would, where is it? Solidus, there you are. So Titus, he has a lot of, that card by himself takes care of all the damage output that he needs. With Solidus, he gets an extra 20% slash resistance, right? And this card increases the critical damage. So this is similar to how I was using this card. Where is it? This card in my water team. This card was increasing all my water critical damage by 25. Instead, the card that I'm using now, this one increases critical damage across the board for all three of my units by 18. It's not as much as 25, but 18 is still pretty good, right? And on top of that, the card is pretty good, especially on a tank or like a off tank. So it increases slash resistance by 15, it increases missile resistance by 15. Pair that up with Solidus, my Elsa gets plus 35% slash resistance. And her buffs, like her buffs increase magic resistance, pierce resist, and missile resist. So she's getting a lot of resistances to like everything, right? Just from the setup. But I don't have to use this card. I can use, for example, like Fenrir. So now just think about my Titus, right? Like my Titus has all the damage capabilities he needs just with this one card. Then the other two cards are focused on making him defensive as well. So he's getting 20% slash resist and 20% magic resist. So you can see, like, I've showed you several different builds that you can do with this card. It doesn't only have to be in a water team. It can be in like many other teams that you can play around with. So all in all, like, I think if you're planning to use Titus, I think if you're planning to use him at level 120, I very highly recommend this card because I think, I think it's a great card for him. I don't know though, like, there are a lot of very good cards, right? Like, I mean, if you just take a look at the vision cards, obviously Bahamut is the best of the best, and I don't have that, so that's too bad. But like, for example, Typhon is also very, very good. And if anybody asked me would you recommend Typhon, I would say yes. If you ask me if I would recommend Black Rose Helena, I would say yes. If you ask me if I would recommend Aegon, I would say yes. So these are all like very good cards, similar to how I would recommend this card for Titus. But obviously, like you have to make choices. Like if you have limited resources and you only have so much Visior, and you're like, should I get this or not? I would say I recommend it. I don't think it's a bad card if you're planning to use Titus for a long time. However, you have to make your choices, right? Um, Maybe you can think of a different build that would work better for him. Maybe you already have Siren, which already gives you 35 water attack. It doesn't. So maybe like his offense is already taken care of. Like if you put this card on this team instead. So say you put it like that, and here you use something else like this. So maybe this still captures what you were trying to do before, right? Because now you're getting the 35, water attack across the board for everybody, and you're getting AOE resist from Leviathan's secondary effect, so everybody gets 20% AOE resist. So I mean, this is still good. I guess the biggest difference would be Titus's own personal stats. Like his attack here is 1,175. With this card, and remember this is not maxed, but still it is at 1,192. So it's a little different. I mean, it's not that big of a difference. Um, uh, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, like to me, when I was using it um, in the uh, in the class match today, it felt like a huge difference because I wasn't able to hit Yuna that hard before. But also don't forget, like it also gives defense piercing and accuracy as well. So all of that would stack up, and also I mean even the base stats like attack, dexterity, and HP would go up when he gets to level 99. Um, so anyway, that's really my review. Like I think it's a good card. I like when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely getting it. I want to use it in a water team. I really like water units, and I've been using them in a lot of places. I think if you have, if you already have Glaciella, if you already have this card, and you have Titus, I think I would strongly consider getting Titus's VC because of this combination. Again, you can also do a very similar thing by using the Snow White Guard as well. But in this case, it's only Titus that would benefit. Like everyone else would not benefit from the critical hit rate up from Titus's VC. It was only water allies. Um, but still, I mean, uh, I think it's a good card. Like I would recommend it. But as I said, there are a lot of cards I recommend. You should make your own choices and figure out what you want your team to look like before you invest in it. Give it some thought because like you have 2 weeks to decide to get it. Actually, you probably shouldn't wait 2 weeks because you would need to max out the card before before the limited time is gone. Actually, let me just take a look to see how long does this event last. Oh, okay. It lasts a long time. You have 34 days to decide. Okay, so you have a long time to decide. So take a couple of weeks to think about it. See if your Titus is doing enough damage with whatever other setups you have. And if you feel like having a boost for Titus would help your account in the long run, then I think you should go for it. If you don't feel that way, if you're kind of okay with the kind of damage he's doing, if you're like, yeah, maybe if he does like 20% more damage, that would be great, but it's not. I don't really need that right now. The content I can do right now, I'm doing PvP. I'm already a relatively newer player anyway, so it won't help me. If that's how you feel, then don't get it because like there are a ton of really good vision cards, and this one is limited. So once the 34 days are over, you can't work on it anymore. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I hoped it helped you guys to decide if you should be getting this vision card or not. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment. And if you like this video, I hope you like and subscribe it. Thank you very much, and have a good day.